Xbox's most intriguing studio, The Initiative, just announced a massive amount of hires that shows Xbox has been grabbing a lot of the most talented developers for multiple studios around the gaming world. Let's see what this all means. So we all know that Microsoft has been investing a lot of money in acquiring some amazing studios the last several years. And not only getting new studios, but also putting very talented people into those studios so they can make amazing games for the Xbox platform. But there's one studio that's been shrouded in unknowns and has been extremely quiet for the last 2 years since it was announced. That studio is The Initiative, which is being headed by Daryl Gallagher and has been in the process of building their studio from the ground up. And if you've been paying any attention to gaming news or just gaming in general, you probably have heard about this studio. I mean, how could you not have? Xbox announced the studio on their biggest stage at E3 in 2018. Ever since that time, we've heard a lot of rumors surrounding the studio, from a name change or the type of game they'll make. The reason we hear about the studio a lot is because they're going to turn into one of the pillar studios of Xbox and will be given the task to make a game that will be equal to Halo or Gears of War or even Forza. And this isn't just me saying this, it's the way Xbox talks about the studio, and it's the way the studio themselves hire talent. They advertise this game as a quadruple A studio making games with cutting edge technology. So when I hear that they've hired multiple developers from high-end studios, it grabs my attention, and that's what I want to talk about right now. And I want to get into these hires and see exactly what they mean, and maybe, just maybe, it can give us a hint at the type of game they're making. So let's get into this article and also what the studio themselves posted. But first, like always, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so let's get into these hires, because I do have to admit, this is some of the most interesting news I love to talk about in the gaming world, because I do care about games, but I also find it fascinating how these games we all love to play come together, the people behind them, and how the developers bring everything together. And one of those processes is how a studio is built and how the culture is built. And that's exactly what's happening with The Initiative as we speak. They're bringing in all these extremely talented people, and they want to make the best possible game they can. I say all of this, and we still don't even know what type of game they're making or anything about it, which the article talks about here. Microsoft's newest in-house studio, The Initiative, still has yet to announce or even tease its first game, but it's already building up hype by building a talented and well-regarded team. Studio head Daryl Gallagher just announced a slew of new hires on LinkedIn, joining a team that already has some very big names on it. The announcement included 16 new names working across various departments, including developers from Respawn Entertainment, Crystal Dynamics, Naughty Dog, Bungie, as well as talent making the switch from other areas of the entertainment industry. As the article points out, we still don't know what The Initiative is working on in respects to the type of game they're making, but that doesn't mean we can't get a pretty decent guess when we look at the type of developers they hire onto the team. And that's exactly what Daryl Gallagher did when he posted the announcement on LinkedIn, which the article points out that they hired 16 new people on the team across various departments, which includes high-level AAA developers like Respawn Entertainment, who just released a massive game in Star Wars Fallen Order, not to mention they're a huge Battle Royale developer with Apex Legends. Then we have Crystal Dynamics, who are a massive company, and they're about to release one of the biggest games of the year in Marvel's Avengers. Not to mention, they worked on Tomb Raider, which Daryl Gallagher helped recreate. Now for the big one, which is Naughty Dog. I mean, Naughty Dog, outside of Sony Santa Monica, is probably the highest quality developer in Sony. Scratch that, they're probably the highest quality developer in all of gaming, especially when it comes to AAA games. Now, I know The Last of Us 2 wasn't that great, but that was more to do with the story. The people that made the gameplay and designed the game knocked it out of the park. So I'm happy to see Xbox poach some of that talent there. And the next studio is Bungie, which of course every single Xbox fan knows. They're creators of Halo and the team behind one of the biggest games this entire generation in Destiny. And to really give you a look at what Daryl said in the post on LinkedIn, here's what he had to say. I'm very excited to share some of the latest newcomers to Team Initiative. Welcome to the studio. We are thrilled to have you on board. Which you can see here, he proceeds to name and tag every single person they brought onto the team. And that's pretty cool because it helps them network, and it also shows that the studio is growing, and it also gets their name out there for higher developers to maybe look at the initiative and think, hey, maybe that's a team I want to join with the people involved there. So when you take all of this into account, you can see that they're grabbing some of the best developers in the industry to make a massive game. But most of all, they have experience, and that's going to be the biggest takeaway from this. These hires aren't the people that you hire to get the production ramping up. These hires are the leadership roles that require a lot of experience in shipping games, which the article says here. The new hires have an impressive list of shipped games between them, and include Crystal Dynamics' Remy Lacoste, game director on Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Marvel's Avengers, and lead on many of its earlier games, as well as Christine Thompson, a lead writer on Destiny 2 and Star Trek Online. They join an impressive list of previously hired talent, including Red Dead Redemption writer and designer Christian Cantamisa and God of War producer Brian Westergaard. And this is where the news of the new hires really shows what they're trying to make. I mean, the article even mentions that they hired big names like Christian, who was the writer and designer of Red Dead Redemption, not to mention the big hire of Brian Westergaard, who was a producer on God of War, which to me is one of the best games I've ever played. Because the biggest criteria I see Xbox putting on these hires is the amount of games they ship. But not just any games, it's mostly high-budgeted AAA games, some of the biggest games we've seen released this entire generation. And of course this is because the initiative wants to release a massive game that will compete with the games mentioned in the article, which the article again brings up here. Given the background of the developers being hired, it seems pretty safe to assume that the initiative's first big game will be in the same vein as AAA games like The Last of Us or Red Dead Redemption, but the studio could yet surprise us. So I have to agree with the statement because I do believe that the initiative is trying to make a game that competes with Sony Santa Monica and Naughty Dog. Even games like Tomb Raider, that's a third-person action adventure. I mean, what else could they be making with all the talent they've brought onto the team? Everyone that's been hired has made those type of games. Not to mention, it's the one game that's really missing from the Xbox game studios. I mean, we just got 2 massive RPG games announced. We just had multiplayer games announced, first-person shooters announced, and we have Gears of War, the best third-person shooter game ever. They have everything but a third-person action-adventure game. And if they want to grab more people on Xbox Game Pass or the Xbox platform in general, they need to have those types of games, which include games like God of War and The Last of Us. But don't expect the game to come out soon. I still have a feeling that the people they're hiring are high-level designers, people that really help create what exactly the game is going to be, what the gameplay mechanic is going to be, what the foundation of the game is going to be. And once they set that all up and they have a solid understanding of the limitations for the game, they'll be ready to move forward and bring a bunch of talent and hire like crazy, much like Playground Games did with their second studio that's making Fable. And the article mentions that when it says this. While the initiative has previously said it would like to remain small, it's yet to be seen what the studio's idea of small actually looks like. 8 new positions are still open for applications on the studio's careers website. And that's where I'll leave you, because I have a feeling the studio has their foundation almost set. I think the game is ready to hit that mass production where they hire like crazy. Do I think it happens this year? No. I think they'll start to hire a bunch of game developers to do the world building and the crazy busy work early next year. So expect this game to stay under wraps for a little while and don't expect to see any type of gameplay for at least a year or 2. Either way, I can't wait to see what they're working on, and from the talent that they brought onto the team, I have a feeling they'll instantly be one of the top developers at Xbox. If not, all of gaming when it's all said and done. That's just how I feel, because the talent there is almost awe-inspiring. But enough of what I think, tell me what you think about all of this. Do these hires make you excited for the game? What type of game is the initiative making? Can they compete with Naughty Dog or Sony Santa Monica? What type of game do you want them to make? What type of game will they have to make to actually impress gamers? Can they make the next big AAA Xbox game? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. Hey, give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Right now, I still am playing Ghost of Tsushima, but I'm kind of moving away from it. I want to play Arkham Knight, because after that DC fandom and all the new games announced, and all the awesome Batman news, I just really have this comic book feel. I think I'm going to be playing Arkham Knight here, and then over xCloud, I'm going to be playing the Arkham Telltale games. I never played those, and I really want to get through those and see how the story goes. But tell me what you're playing. Are you working through your backlog? Or are you playing any of the new games that have come out? Or are you waiting for Marvel's Avengers? And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.